What value do you get working at a big company that you do not get working at a small company or a startup?
So I started my career at a big company, which was Accenture, or Anderson Consulting at the time. And now and since leaving Accenture, I've been at smaller companies, and now sort of mid-career, I'm back at a big company. And I did get a lot of positive experiences from the first time I was at a big company, and I'm getting a lot of things now for the second time that I think are very valuable. The first time I was in a big company, I think starting your career at a large company gives you a very good platform to start on. So you get taught a world-class, business-tested way of doing things. It may not be ideal, but it is. You can be sure that if you do it the fill-in-the-blank way, that way has been tested and tried in the market. And that's kind of a good feeling when you're fresh out of college and you're just learning something for the first time. I think if you went straight out of college into a startup, you'd have more responsibility, but I think you might wonder, am I doing this the right way, or wouldn't a bigger company do this better? And I think that's kind of now coming back to a big company, what I give a lot of thought to, which is, when you're at a small startup or a middle-sized company, a lot of times you think about, well, if we were bigger, we would do it this way. Or I'm sure that the guys over at XYZ company, they don't have this problem because they've got it sorted out. And sometimes that's true, but I think some of the learning is when you get to that big company that you had it all figured out, that they don't. And that you were doing some things, in fact, better than they're doing them. There are certain things that large companies do well, and it's good to come back to that. I think that startups can get loose, and sometimes that's a good thing. But I think in some ways, and coming back to the management, I think that's one of the downsides is in a startup environment, the focus is on the product, the focus is on sort of hyper growth, but there's not a lot of time to fill in on the sort of people management and that sort of thing. So I think coming back to a big company gives you that seasoning in that sense. You get opportunities that you don't get in a startup where you're scrambling to get to the conference in a startup. A big company is probably the platinum sponsor. So it's a different kind of challenge. Public speaking opportunities come up in big companies. You wish you had that kind of opportunity in a small company. So you have a brand. That's a nice thing to walk into a conversation with. You're not always trying to establish your legitimacy as a company or as a product or a service. It's already there. You also have access to companies and people that you wish you could have as a small company. So that's pretty powerful as well. And I think that coming back to a large company at this stage in my career, it's nice to reconnect with that and feel like, yes, some of the things I did before were just as good as they do in large companies, and the things that weren't, you can shore up as well.